Hello, my name is Deymon Xavier Fleming Jr. I, Deymon Fleming Jr., have read the full contest rules and accept this nomination for the 2020 G2 Overachievers Student Grant. I, Deymon Fleming Jr., am a servant, a leader, a son, an athlete, a dedicated Christian, and an ambitious entrepreneur. In everything that I do, I strive to do it to the best of my ability. And while I'm doing it, I want to bring others up. Whether that's me being the president of my student body, the president of the Youth Works NAACP in my county, speaking from the pulpit at church monthly, or running my business, Beat All the Odds LLC. As you can see, I'm repping my company right now because in everything I do, it doesn't matter what the circumstance is, I always believe that you can beat all the odds. I currently go to Greater Atlanta Christian School in Norcross, Georgia. When I think about the things that I'm passionate about, the first thing that comes to mind for me is service. Ever since I can remember, I've always wanted to help those around me, those in my community, those at my church, and those at my school, those at the places I travel to. And I think that's the main reason why, after I went on those 2 mission trips to Ecuador, I wanted to come back immediately and start the Soul to Soul shoe drive, where I collected 560 pairs of shoes and shipped them back over to those underprivileged communities that I worked in while I was there. What I've learned from these service opportunities is that I shouldn't take things for granted that I have, because you never know what other people don't. Another thing that I'm passionate about is football. I've been playing it since I was 4 years old, and I know that that's where I get my competitive nature from. In everything that I do, I always want to be in first place. I always want to be the best at it. And the last thing I'll say that I'm really passionate about is my business. As I mentioned earlier, Beat All the Odds. It's such a great mantra for me to live by, and that whatever circumstance or challenge that comes in front of me, I'm always going to strive to beat it. I always want to beat all the odds and encourage others around me to beat all the odds as well. For as long as I can remember, my parents have always had me involved in every single activity that I could possibly be in. And I think that really contributes to me being an overachiever. Because in every single activity, as I mentioned earlier, I always want to be in first place. I always want to be the best at it. And so that's why right now in my life, in high school, whenever I don't have something to do, I've got time on my hands, I don't feel like everything's okay. I always feel like I've got to be doing something, and I've got to be doing it at the best of my ability. And not only do I want to make myself do whatever I'm doing at the best of my ability, but I always want to reach behind and pull those that are around me up as well to do the best they can do. One challenge I've overcome is when I had to move from my middle school after 7th grade and go to the new school that I attend now in 8th grade, which is Greater Atlanta Christian School. The reason that was a challenge for me was because I had began to develop bonds with people, thinking that I was going to go on to high school and graduate with them. And the challenge was me having to leave my friends, not really knowing the new territory I was stepping into, not knowing how I would fit in at Greater Atlanta Christian. But really, I had to overcome it, and I did overcome it. When I got to GAC, I stepped out and met new people and began to introduce myself and show people that I could really be a light on campus, which I believe I have. And the way I've overcome is I stepped in, began to be a leader. Like I said earlier, I am the president of the student body at GAC now. So I definitely took that opportunity to move to a new school and build new relationships. And it helped me to learn how to build connections. And it definitely made me become a better leader. Another challenge that I have faced is football is something that I have always played. I've always wanted to play it at the next level in college. And so in high school, my freshman through junior years, I've been a quarterback. I'm still a quarterback. My freshman through junior years, I did not get the opportunity to play on the football field. I didn't get to start as the team's quarterback. And, I just said, I've got to keep pushing. I've got to keep pushing. This is something you love to do. And if it's something you love, you got to keep grinding at it. And so my senior year, my opportunity came. I was a starting quarterback. And so I was able to overcome. I worked really hard over the summer and the off season, and I worked really hard during the season. And it turned out that I was a top passer, a top quarterback in the state of Georgia. I was my region's offensive player of the year. I made all state honors, all region honors, all county honors. And I actually signed to play football in the position that I love, in the sport that I love, at Charleston Southern University. And that's where I'll be going to college and playing football. Going above and beyond definitely describe the person that I am. In anything that I do, I always want to be at the top of my game, and that really takes me doing more than just the bare minimum. One example I can give is that at my school, every year, each student is required to put in 10 hours of service. And so you have to record those 10 hours. And so every year I've always strived to do 10 hours and more. And so to get the National Presidential Service Award, you have to do at least 50 service hours a year. And so I have strived, and I have done more than 50 hours of service each year. And I'm going to receive my school's honor cord for doing over 140 service hours while I've been in high school. And that's just one of the ways that I believe I go above and beyond, and that again makes me an overachiever. I believe I've improved the lives of those who are around me just by being a light into their lives. You know, whether that's me being a youth mentor and coach at the youth football park that I grew up playing at, and every time I go out there, I just want to encourage those kids just to strive to be the best that they can be. It's the same way I like to motivate people from the pulpit monthly at my church to just have faith that whatever they're doing, they can overcome it. And that's similar to why I started my company, Beat All the Odds, because I want to make an impact across the world, that anyone can achieve their goals. You know, in the Bible, it tells me to let my light shine, and that's what I strive to do. I believe that through all the things that I participate in, I've definitely helped many, many people, and hopefully more people than I can even count or begin to count. But the question asked me how many shoes I've collected, and the number is 560 pairs of shoes that I was able to send over to Ecuador. The ultimate goal I have for the Soul to Soul shoe drive is for it to be a nationwide thing, where I've got people participating from many different states, many different schools, wanting to rep the Soul to Soul and understand that they are not taking what they have for granted, that we're sending shoes year after year to different countries, not just Ecuador, but all over the world. The biggest challenge I'm currently facing with my charitable works is definitely COVID-19. It's just definitely impacted how many service opportunities there are. And I'm a person that likes to be involved in them year round. And I would say for my own charitable works, an initiative of Soul to Soul, the shoe drive, just a big problem is people not necessarily being as comfortable wanting to volunteer during these times. And another challenge I'm facing is just being able to get the word out a little bit better. And I think that I could definitely expand upon that were I to get the money from the Overachievers Foundation. And no, I have not already received $50,000 or more in grant or scholarship money for my overachieving works. And lastly, I would use a $12,500 G2 Student Overachievers Grant to supplement my educational expenses and to help me with my service initiatives. As I said earlier, I would like to expand the Soul to Soul shoe drive to be a nationwide initiative. I would like for people all across the world to know about it. And I think that that will take some money. And so I would love to use the $12,500 grant for that. And I would also use the money to help my initiative of Beat All the Odds and encouraging people nationwide and worldwide that whatever they're going through and whatever they're doing, that they can and will overcome. Thank you.